Oh, Shrek already got it. Nice, he got it.
Hey, Shrek, my man. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, everyone. How are we going? Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's good to be here. I see we've already got an audience. This is something I'm not fully used to, but I welcome it. How was the session before? What was it about?
Marketing.
It was about marketing in Web3.
Marketing in Web3. And what did you learn? Give me a
Many.
summary.
Marketing.
You learned marketing.
Many marketing. We learn many marketing.
All right, dude, guys, come on. Give me a little summary of this. Like, what are the key takeaways from this session?
Marketing don't have any relations of the beer or bullish market. It not depends. Marketing needs everywhere. Our life is marketing. We love marketing.
Cool.
Marketing.
And also it also depends on the kind of platform you're marketing it on and where the users reside, basically, and on what kind of a social media platform, right? And how can you align your content with the market's interest and the product. So yeah, these, like, there were a lot of other points too, but like these were which I remember. Yeah.
It's very cool. It's interesting how, have you guys ever thought about it, that every idea, belief, or like really just any belief or idea that you have in your life came to you through some form of marketing? Like I don't mean necessarily like a television advertisement or anything like that, but even basic ideas like religion, like someone basically marketed you that idea, or that you should eat healthy food. Almost everything was something that got sold to you at some point, and you internalized it and became a significant part of your own internal landscape. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. So with that being said, guys, like user journey around Allowlist. Very fascinating topic because I'm sure many of you have participated in this. Now, I want to see if we have any aliens here. Chat, do you think we have aliens? What do you reckon? Reckon there's aliens here, chat? Let me see. All right, I want to see from everyone here if anyone has not participated in an Allowlist process. Let me know if there's a single alien here. Or a user journey around. Yeah, has anyone here not participated in an Allowlist process? Let's see. There's no aliens, eh? Now let's just make sure that everyone's still alive and listening to me. Participate in events, chat, if you have participated in the Allowlist process. Come on, chat. Let's go. Sure, Yusuf. Come on, we got 2 people, 3 people, Flower, 4, 5, 4 people. Come on, guys. But these are weak numbers, guys. We have to get these numbers up before I 6, 7, we wait. Like, guys, those of you that maybe know I'm stubborn. Hey, come on, we're gonna take our time. Janan, oh yeah, all right, guys, welcome. I can see you're a bit more alive now. I like it.
If you guys don't use the chat, you won't get drops.
All right, beautiful. I love it. Now, one thing that we're going to do is we share the microphone here, my friends. We have an audience of 50 people. That's a sizable number. I want someone here to share what was the coolest, the dopest, the most engaging, and the most exciting Allowlist process they were part of. And it could be either the bull or the bear. This is something I know you all have direct experience over, so I'm not going to accept no answers. I will go on strike.
Grapes.
Okay, beautiful. And can you tell us about it now? I'll pretend someone doesn't know about grapes or didn't participate. Could you walk us through why you enjoyed it and what was cool about it?
Yeah, hard to play a simple game on your phone, and like there was a leaderboard. So, the great thing was that it was their own game. They made it, and it was revealed before mint. You could actually use it. It was playable, and they had a leaderboard.
And why did you like that so much? Like why did it resonate? Why is it something special?
Because it was different. I didn't have to grind the chat for that. I didn't have to retweet, like, do all that stupid stuff. And while I had fun playing the game.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's sick. Did anyone else anyone else here participate in Grapes Whitelist who've got any thoughts on it? I'd
Yeah.
love to see if we can build on that.
Yep.
Floor's yours,
Also,
man.
also like about grapes, they like have like high supply. I forget about number. They have like high mint price, about $75 or more, or like under $100, and like market not was like good, but after like some announcement, they got like really strategies about mint. Like after this, like mint price goes to twice. Like its floor price will be in a 24 hours, like twice, like doubled, and then it'll go high by announcement of its collapse for Fortnite. And another community is also like utility from holders, and they're like, as we can see, like 0.46 or how much now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So there's obviously the mention of the floor price. That's always beneficial when you get a strong floor price. I think that to take a couple of things out of grapes, I think that when you have a chance to do novel, like something new for people haven't experienced, that shows that is fun, something new, something fun, and that shows off your capacity, it can be a home run, right? Because if you think about it, so many teams don't really have the funding uh, or the capacity to just make a game like that as part of the Allowlist process. It's really a select subset of Web3 teams that can do that. And it shows that they have the capacity to execute post-mint. Now, one of the biggest flaws that we've all experienced in this space, and if you've experienced this, please just like say yes in chat, but it seems like people are always selling stuff to us that is unfucking finished. Who feels that, chat? Do you feel like in NFTs, for whatever reason, you are constantly being sold unfinished things? And in your life, you're used to buying finished products. When you go to the shops or when you get someone something for Christmas, it's a finished product, right? Or whatever holiday you celebrate. Like sorry, I don't mean to exclude you on the basis of your religion. By the way, the reason being, I think all religions are fascinating. I've been looking into Islam lately. It's sidetrack, but I could go down that path. But regardless, dude, yeah, I know, all religions. Let's do it, inshallah. But yeah, with that being said, like we are constantly being sold unfinished products in this space in a way that I cannot relate to in any other sphere of commerce, let alone life. But definitely not in commerce because bro, no one wants to do that shit in commerce. Like you create cool products that people need or want, not unfinished chunks of shit, trash heaps, garbage bin content that most people are doing in NFTs. So if your team has the capacity to ship a finished product before launch, that is like that is part of the Allowlist process. Do you, my friends, my dear colleagues and friends and buddies, do you understand what a differentiated group you're in immediately just by doing that? You're in good company. You're in a small group, a minority, a different group. You're uncommon. If you can ship something that's a novelty before launch that's actually complete, man, that's crazy. Who else can even? Let's just like zoom in on this. What percentage of projects do you think do something cool like that, like Grapes? And I really would love someone who's someone a bit intelligent to jump in here and try and take this a little bit further because I feel like there's a whole heap of psychological, practical issues we could jump into around this phenomena. So I'd love for someone to take this and run with it.
GM Johnny, what's up?
GM, my man, how you going?
I'm doing good.
That's good,
So
man.
for grapes, I feel what they did was they encouraged competition because naturally every human is very competitive no matter what. We all want to see our name on the number one position in the leaderboard. So you had a specific time to reach that position, and definitely you'll be rewarded with a whitelist. I think that was what really helped them, and game was also fun as well, you know. And a lot of people in Web3 were seeing their friends competing, and definitely you definitely want to be at the top. I think that was what played into it as well. Also, Invisible Friends, they had something similar as well, where you had to play their game and I think be at the top of the leaderboard for whitelist. They also gave Surgence a particular, a separate I think game to play between the community. So that generated competitiveness between the community members and it was also fun as well. Yeah.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
kind of disagree with what he said because the main reasons that Joint Grapes and Imaginary Ones game got a lot of hype in the market was mainly because they were addictive and people loved it. It wasn't, I believe, due to the competitive element because people are right now tired of grinding culture and competing with each other for whitelist. They want to just have a fun way that can increase their chances to get a whitelist. Because if we look at some other projects as well did something similar to them, but they couldn't really make it because their game kind of sucked and people didn't love it.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think it could be a really good segue here, which is that in reality, this grinding meta of an Allowlist process, and it's not even a meta. It's been gone for so long, but the fact that it was part of what was just the norm in the bull run means that it hasn't fully disappeared. But nobody's got time for that, right? Like it's just such a waste of time to be out here grinding whitelists on most projects that are going to zero or that have no chance of minting. So like when you're utilizing an allow list as part of your strategy, you have to make this something that's engaging and that can really facilitate a meaningful progression within your system. What do I mean by meaningful progression, guys? What do I mean? It's a pretty important concept if you're building a community. And the simplest way I can put it is that it's not a destination, but it's like a general direction. In physics, when you have a force, and this is a little bit of knowledge that most of you will never need in your life, but maybe one or two of you will find this useful at some point. In physics, when you have a force, you sort of need to know what direction that force is moving in. Okay, so say that you know that there's a force of like I'll use a poor example, but I'll just say there's a force that equals 10. All right, you then need to know what direction will that be going, and then that's called a vector. So a force in a direction is a vector. That's just a side note. But what you need to have, therefore, now that I've given the definition, is you need a vector towards mastery. And when you have that pathway built into your user journey, it can be something that actually really transforms your project. So I think that something important to realize is that giving people a sense of being able to level up, gain experience, and improve what they're doing is a core part of retention. All right, a core part of retention. I'm gonna give you guys another hint now as well. If you're building a product for people, listen to this very closely. It really doesn't matter if you're in crypto or any other sphere. It's completely unimportant. The most important story you can tell to your user is the story that's unfolding in their head, and that story is generally about them becoming someone who they want to be. I'm actually going to repeat that because I don't know if you're just real. I'm not trying to like big note this, but this is the most important lesson I've learned in business. Okay, if you're building something for someone, the most important story is the one that is going on in their head, and it's generally about them becoming someone that they want to be. Could you guys write that in chat for me if you're here? Like, I want you guys to, if you could take out one thing from this, I really want you to take this out. I'm going to explain to you why this is important. I'm going to give you examples, but just say it aloud. Like, say it to yourself. The most important story is the one unfolding in the customer's head, and it's generally about them becoming someone who they want to be. Okay. So let's unpack that now that I've repeated it a few times. I repeated it because I really want to stick with you. But if you think about it, so many of our purchasing decisions correspond to a narrative of us becoming something. Okay. So why do you buy a skincare product? Because you're telling yourself some internal story about how you want to look, and might even envision yourself in some outcome, like with good skin or at a party or in a set of clothes. When you go to the gym and you buy a gym membership, you're telling yourself a story of being a fit and healthy person that is productive. What about when you sign up for university? That's the story of you becoming learned, educated, and succeeding. What about getting Maccas or just some McDonald's or shit food? The story you're telling yourself is of enjoyment, dopamine, relaxation, fun, good vibes. It's why Maccas, and I'm tying in here to the previous discussion, it's why Maccas actually advertises feelings. If you notice, they don't advertise their product, and Maccas means McDonald's, by the way, for my non-Australian audience. McDonald's don't even advertise their product. They advertise a feeling about how you're going to feel. Good vibes. Isn't this a special time with family, with mum? Oh, thanks, dad. You know, oh, like the kids are having fun. They sell feelings. Okay, so if you think about it, and I'll give you guys a practical test for this now. I'm going to keep tonight's session short. I've just decided because I want to emphasize this key point. Well, you guys actually try and engage with this. I don't want to dilute it with information because if you're really listening to what I'm telling you and you didn't know this, it will change your life forever, okay? Especially as a capitalist or an entrepreneur. When you next exchange your money for a good or service, notice the feelings and thoughts behind why you exchanged your money. I don't mean on a literal level, but notice the emotions. Notice what it takes for you to part with your money. And it will generally correspond to a story of you becoming something or of a narrative around ease or convenience. And when you notice this, you're going to have a really permanent insight into the nature of commerce, the nature of entrepreneurialism, the way of leveraging a competitive advantage, and how to secure users. Okay? If you really understand what I've just told you, your life will never be the same because you're going to innately understand what drives capitalistic and consumer behavior. And you live in a capitalist society where you can leverage this. And you'll be able to identify what's happening through commerce. And that, my friends, that is a skill that is more valuable than anything I could share with you. So I hope that at least one of you guys really listened to that and took something away from this. I want to also emphasize these aren't my ideas. I want to be really clear. These are not my ideas. These ideas are truths that come from people way smarter than me. I can't remember who they came from. I would quote them, but these are things I've learned from listening to other people. Okay, so I'm not trying to pretend I'm some guru with these answers, but I think they are really, really true. So I don't know if any of this really resonates with people at all. But maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Okay. So I hope that was something interesting. Did anyone get benefit from that, or am I talking to the wrong audience about these sort of concepts? Let me know. And who is got something talking in the background, man? Dude, guys, isn't this such a classic sad life? No one replies to my question, but there's just a random voice chatting in the background, but no one will talk to me. Okay, no. That's crazy, man.
Yo, Johnny,
What's up, man? How you going?
I'm doing good. With respect to what you said, I think it all boils down to the psychology of what can make them feel at the moment. You know, iPhone, they may not have the 100% best tech, but their marketing is top notch. You know, it makes you feel like you're in the top 1% because you see celebrities and famous people having an iPhone, always taking a picture. If they don't snap in front of the mirror, you won't know that's an iPhone. But there's that respect when you have an iPhone. That is this. I'm not talking from where I come from because iPhone is really top rated. So psychology also boils down into the marketing, how you can make your users feel. Yeah.
No, you're 100% right, man. And look, that translates so directly into an allow list, but even more broadly, it translates to progression within a community. So if you're trying to have a community where you're getting people to commit their time, you need to realize that they need to feel like they're getting an outcome that progresses them in their life, that they're becoming someone who they want to be. That's the full circle loop on this, right? People need to think that they're becoming someone they want to be through participating. So what could that be in terms of Surgence? Well, people could be becoming that person who's employed in Web3 or the person who has professional connections and learns cool things and participates in an innovative space. You'll notice that this is a narrative that you're going to have to build with an Allowlist. And the most simplified version of it is just that the person's becoming someone with a bloody fucking whitelist, okay? And that's like, I know that sounds comically simple, but it's somewhat profound. As most simple things are, they can have a level of profundity to them. But what I'm saying here is that they've got this outcome. Currently, they don't have a whitelist, and they want one. So their grievance, per se, is that they don't have it. And in the future, they want to see themselves with it. So because of that discrepancy between where they're at and what they want to accomplish, you can then incentivize them to do actions, potentially. But with that being said, all of this works much more effectively when you imbue the whitelist with perceived value that has a tether to financial success. Now, I want to open the floor up for anyone else who wants to jump in here. Talk about the user journeys that they've enjoyed, some thoughts they have on this discussion, or even just to ask the question.
For me, my favorite user journey was for Solana collection Pop Heads. That's my current PFP. How I got the whitelist, it was just basically hanging out in the Discord during VC sessions where the artist was drawing the collection and also running a QA on which NFT gets into the collection and which one, gets trashed. Yeah, so just there vibing to lo-fi and the artist drawing.
And why was that so good? Like, what was the cool part about that for you, man?
It was stress-free, just come there, crack jokes, laugh. Then when the artist asks which should I trash this collection or not, you get a voice in which piece goes into the main collection and which one gets trashed. The art was
Yeah,
really, really good, and I'm a fan of lo-fi as well.
that's cool. And you liked the level of participation because that requires, it's like a fun way of participating as opposed to boring stuff. Like, dude, in 2023, this is a bit of a side note, but who on earth wants to do a piece of art to win an NFT whitelist? Like, that shit just doesn't matter anymore, man. Or like sharing stuff on socials, it's just boring. People don't really want to do that stuff, right? It's not to go anymore. But
So, can you guys hear me?
yeah, we got you, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, sorry if my mic sounds terrible. I'm in the gym on my Bluetooth headset. But I just wanted to say,
Firstly,
I just want.
let me stop. 1 second. What are you training,
You
brother?
good.
What are you training? Brother, what are you training?
Oh, am I training? Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm doing chest and triceps today.
Wait, chest. Okay, cool. And take us through the exercises you're doing. What's your split looking like for the day?
So I had incline bench. Then I just did pectoral flies. Now I just went on to dips, and then I'm going to do the pull downs, the rope pull downs.
Dope. And with the incline, are we talking dumbbell or barbell?
Barbell.
Barbell. And how much did you bench, brother?
Oh man, like 165, maybe 175. Wasn't crazy.
Pounds or kilos?
Pounds.
Okay, six. All right, mate. Floor's all yours.
Well, thanks, Joeknee. But yeah, no, I guess since we're talking about marketing here, I was going to point to the way Surgence markets themselves. You know how like you're kind of offering like you're offering a service where the end game is someone getting a career or someone like lifting off their project essentially, and so it's almost like I don't know. You're talking about like that feeling that people get. And you're talking about like feeding into that emotion and kind of incentivizing them to do actions and whatnot. And I feel like Surgence does that very well because the end goal is bettering oneself. Like that's the whole point of Surgence is bettering yourself. There's not just some product you guys are selling. There's not some like end NFT you're getting and then the product. All the marketing kind of comes to a halt and the project just comes to the end of a cliff because it's already been sold. It's pumped, it's dumped, it's gone. And so all that marketing is just kind of like, off to the wind. Where Surgence, it just keeps like reciprocating on itself because you guys offer a platform where you can come, better yourself, improve, network, and then kind of, reciprocate that into the community once you've become successful. You can kind of help others become successful. So it's like this endless cycle. And you guys market that very well on Twitter, extremely well.
Dude, thank you. Firstly, thank you, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. But more so, man, you can't imagine the amount of meetings we had where we talked about that and we discussed the user journey much as we've talked about it now and how it's that story of someone becoming the person they want to become. And that's the narrative in their own head. It's going to incentivize people and projects. So it's incredible to hear you notice that, man, because it was a core design principle that we planned out over whiteboards and various sessions. Then with the marketing, I can't take credit for the marketing part because a lot of that is Ruthie's genius and guidance in terms of presenting that and conveying it. But yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. And dude, so many times I've talked about this user journey of people believing they're on that trajectory towards success, man, and then feeding it back in, and a rising tide lifts all boats. Like, yeah, I'm really glad you said that, man, because it's what we're aiming for so heavily. Like, it's just, yeah, it's really, really good, cool comment. Anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, I wanted to add something talking about user journey.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I believe that, like, when I got into the Web3 space, I met a situation where people grinded for maybe whitelist, and then they would get to just in general chats, grinding and farming and that sort of thing, just get whitelist. I feel like if your audience, if your community is not in touch with what you're doing, if they do not understand what the project is all about, it's easy for them to just come in. Maybe if it's an NFT you're selling, it's an NFT you're minting, come mint and then flip. But if they're in tune with what you're doing, if they understand the concept of the project that you're working with, then I feel like they tend to stick around for a long time. Like there was a project I was actually collab manager for the project back then. I think I like the way they made their process of giving thing where they had the questionnaire. So you would answer the questionnaire, and those questionnaire were questions. So you would have to take the time and read through the project and know what the project is all about. You get me? It's not just about coming to the VC, chatting, and just saying meaningless things just so you could get white. It was important for them to understand the project was all about. And I felt like since they're not project was all about, they could stick around for a very, very long time. Unlike projects where you would just maybe get into the VC, draw art, meet art, and they would give you whitelist, that sort of thing. So I feel like it's very, very important for your community to be able to understand what you're doing, because understanding there is very, very important. If two people understand themselves, then it's easy for them to work hand in hand. You get me? So yeah, that's one of my user journeys so far in the Web3 space.
Yeah, super cool, man. I completely agree, and that was a great summary. Added a lot. Thanks, man. That's really cool. All right, guys. Is there anyone else who wants to share anything? If not, I'm going to begin. I'm going to wrap this up because I've said my piece. I tried to pack quite a lot into that half an hour. But yeah, I think that's cool. And sure, what would the name of the event be? To what? What should we change it to? Give me a suggestion.
I was just referring when you guys were talking about Gym Man.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, dude, if anyone ever wants to talk about gym, hit me up. Like I'm back into it. We out here hustling. We're making that gradual progress. But
Good to hear,
guys,
dude.
yeah, dude, hustling away, man. It's good fun. I just actually came back from the sauna. So, mate, guys, by the way, if you have a sauna near you, please do try out the sauna. The sauna is fantastic. So good.
I've been doing cold plunges and cold showers, man. That's ridiculous. It is insane.
Yeah, I do cold showers every day, man. I do cold showers every day. I do ice baths when I can. But yeah, man, the only thing I love more than the cold is the hot. But I'm sure we're losing some of you now. But yeah, dude, cold and hot exposure, man, nothing quite like it. Another hack, man, if you're really into the fitness stuff, and this might not be for you, but I found a beautiful way to have no rest days without steroids. You know what it is? Brother, Pilates
No,
sessions.
I don't know what it is. What's up?
Pilates sessions on rest days. So I go gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Then I do Pilates on Tuesday, Thursday. So and then on Saturday I just chill because like I'm generally out and about. So I get to do something every day because Pilates is perfect, dude. It's so good for like joint stability. It's good for like flexibility and just like general
No,
strength and mobility. And then but it also is like a beautiful rest from the gym. So you can still exercise, you still get like all the benefits, but you can then recover. man, it's a life hack. Pilates goes so fucking well with the gym, but people
I might have to try that out.
Bro, the other thing is there are so many sexy women there because all about only women really do Pilates. Like, there's very few men. So you go to the studio. Yeah,
I'm sure
man.
my fiance would love that.
Well, yeah. Beyond that, like, dude, no. I've got a girlfriend too. Like, you don't. We're men of respect, but like, it's still fun to just fucking be kicking back with all these chicks. It's very, very, very novel. Like,
I completely agree. Completely agree.
yeah. You can, and you can do that without while still exercising decorum and a degree of civility. But yeah, it's good fun. It's
Good save,
fun.
Joni. Good save.
No. Also, another thing, and my dad's always said this, and I do truly believe in this. As a general rule, from what I've seen in the world, women tend to be better people than men. They tend to be like from what I've found. Now there are some exceptions, but I think most women are generally nicer and easier to talk to. But, we're getting off track here now, guys. We're getting off track here now. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. If anyone wants to comment anything or take the stage, feel free. If not, I'm going to wrap this up and go to bed. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I guess I just want to touch on, like, I love how, like, again, you touched on the emotional feeling that you're trying to invoke in your audience, and you're trying to, like, if anyone's trying to market their own project or market themselves, market that feeling you're going to give to your consumer, to your customer, regardless of if it's a service you're marketing, or if it's a product you're marketing. Just make sure you market that feeling, like, convey it in your marketing. Like, that's what you need to do. Make sure they understand what they're getting into and that they're going to get this feeling out of it.
Beautiful, man. Thank you for driving that point home. I couldn't agree more. Okay, guys. Well, we'll end it up here, though, now. Next week, we're going to be back to the usual DM sessions, deal manager sessions. So please do come next week to the deal manager sessions. We'll hold it down, and we'll have our friend Abdel Rahman there leading the charge a little bit, all right? Okay, and participating. I see you've rocked up a little bit late today. And Magnus, bro, I would never grind. Like, not going to lie. There's no fucking way, man. My time is too scarce. Yeah, wait, Abdel, Telegram is the new Discord. It is the new. I completely agree. Telegram is fucking sick. I like it. Okay. Guys, I'm going to get out of here now. But have a bloody good evening. Bye.
Later, Joni. Goodbye, everyone.